Hi, I'm Sami Gardner, the host of the Career Kickstart Show. I'm really excited about this series of special episodes, Secrets from the Old Girls Network. Now, let's be real. Historically, women have not gotten the same amount of mentoring men have in what has been called the Old Boys Network. This series aims to amplify the voices of women and their wisdom. Are you ready for the Secrets from the Old Girls Network? This episode features Emily Stroia, an intuitive strategist based in LA. She is the author of the book Into the Light, and she shares all about how you can be a conscious leader. I think as we go through a new generation of women, a new generation of people, that becoming more conscious of who we are and what really we can be as leaders helps us get aligned with what's going to make us more effective as leaders. Emily shares 3 steps to help you become a more conscious leader, and she delves into some really interesting talks about how your vulnerability, your transparency, that can be your strength.
Hey ladies, how's it going? I'm Emily Stroia, and I'm so excited to have been invited to share a little bit on being a conscious female leader and what that looks like. So thanks, Sami, for inviting me to. I am a intuitive strategist as well as an author and a teacher of metaphysics, meditation, and different spiritual tools to empower women to connect to their intuitive abilities, their intuition, and then share their gifts and talents with the world by being coaches and teachers and authors and helping people change their lives. So basically creating more conscious female leaders in the world. That's my vision. So for anyone who is like looking to step up in leadership, or you feel called to make a difference in the world, and you're in different fields, because obviously we're all doing different things, the way that I feel being a conscious female leader looks like is it only really like occurred to me in the last couple of years, really like the social responsibility that we all have when we decide to step out in the world, whether it's on Facebook or social media, or we step out in the world every day and we go to our day jobs, or we're creating entrepreneur businesses, or we're stepping out into a space of leadership in this way of saying that we are experts. So once you declare yourself an expert in something, you've already positioned yourself to be a leader. And so people do look to you for that wisdom, for that insight, for those tools on how to navigate through whatever it is that you teach successfully. So some of the things that I feel are super important when we just publicly declare that we are either an entrepreneur, we're female entrepreneurs, we have expertise, we want to share our expertise with the world, is definitely intention. So I always think about, like, what am I going to create today when I get online, or when I go out in the world in my yoga studio, or I go and have a conversation with someone at the coffee shop, or any sort of event, anything that involves anyone else. My first thought is, like, what do I want to create with this experience? What is it that I really want to give here? How do I want to serve? And one of the things that is true to my heart is leaving a situation and anyone better than before I arrived. So it's like, if I can give one thing, one tool, one nugget, one piece of wisdom, or direct them to my resources and my courses and my books and my mentorship program, then that's what I will do if they show interest. So number one is intention, is what do you want to create in the world, and being mindful of that in your conversations, being mindful of your vision in your conversations, being mindful of, like, who you surround yourself with. gosh, this is like something so big for me, is as I've grown in my career and as a medium and as an intuitive and a teacher and an author, I've met a lot of people along the way, and I realized that you have to really like hold steadfast to your wisdom, to your talents, and be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with, because you want to be around other conscious, big visionary doers. It's super motivational, especially as a leader, as somebody who positions themselves as an expert. You want to be around other experts, and surrounding yourself with people who value intelligent conversations and are motivated, and that you guys can pick each other up when you fall or when you're feeling doubtful. I know that in the past I was super quick to not think about those things because I wasn't conscious about it. I wasn't really considering what I wanted to create. I just knew that these were my interests, and I didn't connect my interests to my vision because I didn't believe in myself enough. So that brings me to the second thing, which is self-belief. So remembering what you're worthy of, remembering that you have this knowledge and this wisdom, and that automatically makes you a leader. And you're also a woman. And so you get to like empower other women. And that's something that I love about the community that I'm growing, is that I'm collecting this tribe of women who are just there to build each other up. So the only way to do that, though, is by positioning myself to believe in myself. So self-talk and self-conversations every single day, even in moments of really big doubt, and reaching out to other people for that support. So again, coming back to that community, those leaders that you also are inspired by, surrounding yourself with other female leaders who are conscious and connecting to their vision and doing their vision in the world, and also of integrity and transparency and value, walking alongside you, not being in competition with you. There's so much of that. So intention, self-belief are two really big things. And then really spending time like cultivating a relationship with myself. So what that looks like is journaling every day, doing some sort of meditation or yoga practice every day. All of that brings me so much peace. It brings me back to a place of center where I'm not lost in my business or finances or, how many more people I need to connect with today and how many more students I want to like have in my program or the book that I'm writing, like all of those hamster wheels that we jump and drive ourselves in. It's an opportunity to cultivate a relationship with yourself, because you can pull back from all that, even if it's for 5 minutes out of your day. Just say, you know what, I know this will be here. I need to do me right now. And it's just a great practice, It's like, maybe we don't all subscribe to the same sense of spirituality, but it is your own type of conscious, practice of self, your conscious self practice, where you sit with yourself and you do something that is nurturing and nourishing and peaceful and brings you some sort of ease and relieves your anxiety, but also makes you mindful of like the thoughts that are running rampant through your mind, of the doubts, because any business owner will tell you and any leader will tell you that there are always doubts. There's always going to be the inner critic. And so it's just kind of like we have to continue to cultivate that relationship with the inner critic and check it every day and say, all right, I've taken care of you. I've heard your requests and your concerns. And I think now I'm good. I'm going to go back out in the world and do what I need to do. And then lastly, one of the things about being a conscious female leader for me is transparency. I've noticed over the years I wasn't as transparent as I am now. I don't dish everything out to the public, but I feel like the more transparent I am, the more doors open up for me. Just yesterday, somebody I saw very briefly in the coffee shop, she was like, how are you? And I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm just trying to get my book to Oprah. That's all. just a very easy task. But somehow I will get my book in her hands. But the point is that I could have just opted out and said, oh, I'm good. But I decided to let her know, like, this is what I'm really working on, and this is, what's important to me. And that's the art of transparency, is just kind of giving people a little bit about what you're really doing. Like, it's easy for us to quickly just go through the motions of conversations and go on automatic. But I feel like transparency actually brings us closer to our community and brings us also connection. So when we're transparent, our community can see that we're also not perfect. We all have our flaws. And so there's this relatability that happens. There's this like really great connection that happens where there's trust, because they can see, oh yeah, you also have issues. Great, me too. I'm not alone. So she also, has done her own work on herself, and now she's doing this. And so the continuously cultivating that practice of showing up for your life while also inspiring others to do the same, and using transparency as that key to continuously nurture the vision is what I feel has been super powerful for me in the last couple of years as I've built my business online. So with that being said, I'll sum up the key points here of being a conscious female leader, which is one, intention. What do you want to create in the world when you go out in the world? From your conversation to, the person you meet in the coffee shop who's making your coffee for you, or whoever you sit next to. It's just being mindful of those conversations and remembering your big vision, remembering your level of expertise, that you have a wealth of knowledge, you have a lot to give. The second one is self-belief. So having that sense of awareness that you are enough, believing in yourself, going outside of your own comfort zones, and knowing that you also have support from other high vibe conscious women in your life. So I really find that to be super empowering. When I'm down, I can reach out to somebody that I trust, that I'm inspired by, or motivates me, or reminds me of my vision, and it's, it's like that quick, okay, let's get out of the trenches and let's get back on the field. Like, you had your time out, it's time to get back out there. And then lastly is the transparency. So the art of transparency brings us closer to people. It opens doors for us. And we don't need to be so vague about what we're doing. We can open up and say, this is what I'm sorting through in my business right now, or this is what I'm working on right now in my vision. And I have this mission that I'm going to get my book to Oprah, by the way. So that's all that I kind of wanted to talk about today, was 3 keys on being a conscious female leader, and being mindful of that every day that you wake up, every night before you go to bed, is also that self-reflection and acknowledging what you have created for yourself and for other people, celebrating all of those things, because that's really what steps you in that position of being a conscious female leader. So thanks everyone for watching this video. I'm super honored. Again, thank you, Samantha, for having me on here, and also acknowledging all of you for the paths that you are on and you're venturing out on to step up and say, yes, I want to also make an impact in the world through my expertise, and also sharing who I am and what I want to give. So always coming back to that why. So just acknowledging all of you and celebrating Sami for everything that she's created, because it's pretty awesome. I learned something new today just by talking to her and looking at her Facebook group. I was like, I had no idea you could do that. So if you want to learn more about me, please go to my website, emilystroia.com. You can find out about my one-on-one sessions, where we do life strategy sessions and we take a look at your overall life. And kind of see what's working for you, what's not working for you, and where like maybe there's a disconnect with your intuition, so that you can get that wisdom that maybe otherwise you can't because you're unclear or you're confused or whatever, So I'm there to sort of guide you back into that place of reconnecting to your vision, and also connecting with spirituality and channeling messages from loved ones. That's another side gift to have. But anyway, you can check out my website, intuitivesoulacademy.com, if you want to look up my courses. I mentor women. And again, thanks, Sami, for having me on here. I'm Emily Stroia, intuitive teacher, life strategist, and author. And
something cool at cool.careerkickstartacademy.com.